Washington to the Titan Tigerland. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here, am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
National Pizza
Guess
Day.
what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
I didn't know it was National Pizza Day. Why did we have pizza last night? National Pizza Day today. Welcome to Hump Day in the Doghouse and National Pizza Day. What's the best pizza out there? You know what I mean? What's your favorite pizza that's out there? I am, I got to be honest with you. We don't have any pizza sponsors, do we? Do we have any pizza? I don't think we have any pizza sponsors, so I'm not going to slander anybody. Of the chain-type pizza, Marco's. I like Marco's pizza the best. Of the chain-type pizza. I'm not a Domino's fan. My wife and my son love Domino. I'm not a Domino's fan. Do not like Domino's at all. I'm just not. Okay? Little Caesars is good. I like Little Caesars. But I like authentic pizza. You know what I mean? We got a little joint right down the street from us called Paisans. And Paisans makes great pizza. If you're ever in downtown Winchester, go to Paisans. I mean, this place is authentic. It's so authentic that the owner is in jail, okay? I mean, that's an authentic pizza joint. The owner's in jail in New York for arms dealing. But that doesn't mean they don't make a great pizza pie there. I mean, they make a great pie. Paisans is the name of that place. Marco's Pizza. Grizz was shaking his head no. I love Marco's. I love Marco's. It's also a Super Bowl hump day as well as we continue to monitor the Brian Harsin situation out of Auburn. And who knows, maybe Bruce Pearl is on a hot seat now. You know, they lost the game at Arkansas last night. I warned you people about that game yesterday, that the Hogs were no joke. Am I lying? I mean, just go back and listen to the tape. Go back and listen to the interview with Justin Ferguson of the Auburn Observer. I said they better be careful in Fayetteville. And Arkansas had to hold off a furious Auburn comeback to win in overtime. More on that in a minute. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. I also like making pizza. I don't do it anymore, but used to make a pizza. And I used to use like the Baboli pizza crust and then make a pizza on there. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. Like Marco's, though. It has that, whatever it is that they put on the crust. You put a little bit of that dust on the crust. It makes it taste authentic. To me, it's the closest thing to pizzeria. You know who else has a good pizza is Pie in the Sky. Is there a Pie in the Sky in Huntsville? Pie in the Sky is good. We are on the Twitch and the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there as well. The YouTube channel is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Like and subscribe there. Go to 97.7ESPN.com and you can get links to all of that as well. While you're at it, get the app. There you can find a link to Zone 2, 3, 4. Those are all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Remember, we have Alabama and UAH basketball, plus the Havoc. Coming up in a few minutes, Carey's Corner with Josh Carey from the Trash Pandas. Like to do a little hot stove talk. Pitchers and catchers are supposed to be reporting. They're not. We'll see if there's any news on the lockout. Plus, the book came in. I want to get Josh's take on this. Those of you that are watching on the TV, the book came in, There it is. Loserville is the name of the book. Look at that thing. It's like War and Peace. I mean, this is a big book. This has got a few more words in it than I want. I like a book about 350 pages max. This book, oh, wait a minute. It's got those notes. Well, maybe this isn't too bad. Holy crap. This book's got 100 pages of notes in it. This book's like 400 pages. I can get through that. 386 pages and another 100 pages of notes. Anyway, there's the book, Loserville, How Professional Sports Remade Atlanta and How Atlanta Remade Professional Sports. I got to get Josh's take on this as well. I'm going to ask him about that as well. And then at the top of the 11, former Houston Oilers All-Pro linebacker Al Smith, who is on the board of the NFL alumni. I say it like that because that's what he says. He always calls it the alumni. He's on the board of the NFL alumni, and he's the president of the Tennessee chapter of the NFL alumni. He's also a dear friend of mine, and he will join us to talk Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel's contract extension. Do the Titans make a move to get the Aaron Rodgers, even though they say they're committed to Ryan Tannehill? And we'll also talk to him about the Rooney Rule. By the way, Al has a game day job with the NFL. He is, Grizz will love this, he's the uniform policeman. His job for the NFL before a Titans game is to walk around on the field and tell the players that if they're out of uniform, that they need to do this or that. And then during the game, he's the one that makes the note that the players ultimately will get fined for. Like if they're wearing their socks wrong, $5,000, or they're wearing the wrong shoes or something like that. He has to he's the uniform police. Comes to the Rooney Rule, I got to be honest. I don't know what the options are when it comes to the Rooney Rule. I mean, it seems like it has been useful in opening the eyes of some GMs and owners. It's been around for 20 years now. In interviewing candidates that they might not have looked at in the past. Even Mike Tomlin, who was hired by the Rooneys in Pittsburgh, he got that interview. He was a position coach. He was a defensive backs coach at the Vikings. And he got the interview because of the Rooney Rule and blew away the Steelers. And got, we got hired, and he's a Hall of Fame coach. But it seems like it's not enough for some. I mean, the NFL and Roger Goodell met with several black leaders yesterday to address the issue of minority coaches in the NFL, of which there are now, I think, 4. I don't know. I don't keep a scoreboard like some people do. And, of course, that ambulance chaser, Al Sharpton, had an opinion. He said, quote, the Rooney Rule has been proven to be something the owners use to deceptively appear to be seeking real diversity. We must have firm targets and timetables. Close quote. What the hell does that mean? Targets and timetables? I mean, the targets are out there. The guys that are being interviewed, whether it's Rooney Rule enforced or not, I mean, there are African-American coordinators and position coaches that are getting interviews. There were 2 African-Americans hired as general managers, one of which in Chicago didn't even bother to interview Eric Bieniemy. He came from Kansas City. What does that tell you? It's not always just about why he deserves a job because we don't know. How the hell do we know that Eric Bieniemy deserves anything? What do we know about an offensive coordinator that doesn't call the plays in Kansas City where it's Andy Reid's offense? What, we just look at the results of the games? It's Kansas City's been in 4 straight AFC Conference Championship games. They've gone to the Super Bowl twice. Well, clearly Eric Bieniemy deserves to be a head coach. How the hell do we know? Could you pick Eric Bieniemy out of a lineup? What do we know? Maybe the guy who worked in the front office at Kansas City, who got the job as the general manager of the Chicago Bears, who didn't even call in Eric Bieniemy for an interview. Maybe he knows more than we know about Eric Bieniemy. Oh, I don't know, though. I think we all, Twitter knows. What are targets and timetables? What the hell is he talking about? In the meantime, NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith wrote a guest column for Sportico. He called the Rooney Rule misguided. He said, quote, in retrospect, both the creation of and the reliance on the Rooney Rule 20 years ago was misguided at best. The people who trumpeted its creation traded a threatened lawsuit for a, quote, rule with no consequences if it was broken. No transparency, no accountability. In short, the Rooney, quote, rule was more of a suggestion and left absolute control to the individual NFL owners. Well, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. There are consequences for breaking the Rooney Rule. Matt Millen was personally fined $200,000 in 2003, and the Lions were fined $500,000 when they hired Steve Mariucci without interviewing a minority. There are rules. In addition to that, teams that, quote, develop minority candidates and then lose them get 2 third-round draft picks, as the 49ers did for, quote, developing Mike McDaniel, who is a Yale graduate, who has a black grandmother, and to be honest, didn't need any help being developed. Kid's brilliant. So what's the answer? What can you do? What is the answer? You can't leave the absolute control to the NFL owners? Who makes the decision then? If the owner of the team doesn't decide who's going to be his head coach or give the responsibility to the GM to decide who's going to be the head coach, who in the hell is supposed to decide? What are you saying? I mean, I have no idea. I hear a lot of bitching. I hear no solutions. I'm wide open to a solution. Anybody, just 256-576-4977. I don't care if you're black, yellow, native, green, Martian. Do they have people on Jupiter? I don't care where you're from. People from Georgia? I don't care. Tell me what the solution is. Give me a plan. Give me a solution. Don't bitch about it. Give me a solution. That's all I'm asking. In other coaching news, why is Bill O'Brien still in Tuscaloosa? Let's think about that for a minute. Why is Bill O'Brien? I mean, clearly Bill Belichick and the Patriots need an OC, right? An offensive coordinator. O'Brien is from New England. He was with the Patriots and was the offensive coordinator there at one point. Was with the Patriots for 5 total seasons. Is this strictly about the Saban-Belichick relationship? I mean, both guys bristle about assistants being poached for lateral jobs. Now, maybe this isn't lateral, but that's about, being the offensive coordinator at Alabama, being the offensive coordinator in the NFL. It's about as close to lateral as you can get. Maybe this isn't a lateral job, but literally. But Saban really may be leveraging his relationship with Belichick here. Should Bill O'Brien, do you think Bill O'Brien, what do you think he's saying about all of this? Bill O'Brien's like, yeah, I'm good, man. Or do you think Bill O'Brien is like, hey, why are you guys holding me back? Is he being held back? Or is it just a relationship thing there? Over in a little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones, proudly wearing his Rocket City Trash Panda lid today. It's Coach Chris.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm gonna jack up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom,
Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Yeah, Grizzlicious, how you doing today?
I'm good because you're talking about pizza. Now I'm hungry and man, I could eat pizza anytime.
You've been there since 5 o'clock this morning.
So. Well, I mean, but I could eat pizza anytime. I could
Are you
eat
a cold
for
pizza in the morning guy, or do you heat it up like next day cold pizza?
I can throw it in the mic. I can throw it in the oven. Yeah, no, I heat it up. I don't like to eat it cold. It's weird.
Oh, see, I like cold pizza.
I like cheese. Like I like cold cheese, but I don't know. Once it's cooked, and then I don't know. Maybe it's the texture and the look of it. I guess for me, it's in my brain.
I
it
like
doesn't
it.
look good.
In fact, I like the Domino's better.
Yeah.
Out of the refrigerator than I do the next day.
It curls up though. Like
a little bit. Well, that's depending on how cold. Two,
how
do you
old
have
it
it
is.
in the box? You know, if you put the cold pizza in the refrigerator, it's better if it's in the box.
That Little Caesars stays strong for a few days.
See, Little Caesars to stay strong. The box will keep it, or put it in a Tupperware. If you just put the cold pizza on a paper plate and stick it in the refrigerator,
yeah,
it can get a little funky. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It
like
get a little
toes
nasty.
curling up. It's just, oh man, But no, the best. If we're talking, if I can, like a shameless plug right here, just like a free advertisement. The pizzeria is probably my favorite place.
What is the pizzeria?
It is a little joint on Bailey Cove.
Right.
And
so not a franchise.
No, it's not a
joint.
franchise. It's just a little joint on Bailey Cove. You're gonna pay for what you get, but you can get like
not a $6
authentic
pie.
No,
it's not $6.
You're gonna get authentic pizza. So I like thin crust.
Foldable.
I love it.
Foldable?
Yes, foldable.
They're big slices. They're
Huge,
slices that are big wide, and you fold them.
I love
and you
it.
make like a hand calzone.
I love it. I love that place. That's one of my favorite places. But if I had to go to the chain places, I like Marco's. I like the crust and everything like that they do. But if I had to pick, I mean, throughout college I did Little Caesars, but and Little
Caesars I like
was
better
always
than
the
Domino's.
joint. But if I had to go a little bit better, I like Pizza Hut. I like going to Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut
Hut's nice.
is okay. It's in the
Pizza
middle.
Hut?
For me, Pizza Hut is between Domino's.
Yeah,
and
I just don't like
Marco's.
Domino's, man. My little brother loves Domino's, but Pizza Hut, I just like going to Pizza Hut. I guess I like to be able to sit inside and eat too.
Yeah, I
pizza bar.
and I like it thinner than thick. I mean, there are some I like thick.
Oh, I love thin pizza.
You know who makes a really
authentic
good pizza?
Italian thin crust pizza? Yes.
Yeah, I do, but I also like some. There are some that I like thick. You know whose thick pizza I like? Jet's Pizza. Have you ever had Jet's?
Yes. By the way, Pie in the Sky was
Square
around
pizza.
here. There was one, and I think it went out of business. It's not.
They might not be anywhere anymore. There used to be a couple in.
Well, I know that there was one here a while ago, and I think it went out of business. It was in Madison, I believe.
There's not too many pizzas that are made at places that are not pizza places.
Yeah.
That are good pizza. I mean, it's not too often like you walk into some joint that's just a restaurant and then you order their pizza and it's very good.
Here's something. Here's another great place that you can get a pizza, which most people probably don't get and know. Nick's Ristorante. You can
that's what I'm talking about.
You can get a authentic made up pizza that they make
is that
themselves.
pretty good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a bar menu, but it's something that
that's unusual.
Yeah, it's different because it's a steakhouse and it's an Italian restaurant, but then they still do like great burgers and all that other stuff. So Nick's Ristorante does a great little pizza too.
Yeah,
They don't like making them.
Yeah, if you go, they don't like
they're all because they have to hand make them. So
that's unusual.
Yeah.
When you go to some place that's like a restaurant that does something else and then they make a pizza, then it's good. But of the franchise, it is National Pizza Day. That's what we're talking about. Of the franchises that make the pizza, to me, Marco's is number one. I like Little Caesars. The Pizza Hut is okay.
I can take Donato's and Papa John's. Papa John's.
Papa John's is one I like.
Yeah.
I like the Papa John. No, it's Papa John now. It's not Papa John's anymore.
Papa John.
No, it's Papa John's without the apostrophe now. So it's Papa John's without the apostrophe because they don't want to be related to Jeff.
Because it's multiple people.
Right. No,
it's not just
Papa
his
John's, but not the, not Papa John's with the apostrophe.
That guy ate a lot of pizza. That guy
did eat a lot of pizza.
That guy ate a lot. I remember when he ate a lot of pizza. I couldn't eat that much pizza. I can eat that. I mean, I can over probably
Paisans,
2
though,
years.
is my, like, your, whatever that place is that you just mentioned, the pizza place. What would
the
you call
pizzeria?
it? The pizzeria?
Yeah, the pizzeria.
But really, that's a descriptive name. That's a very good and descriptive name. The pizzeria for a pizza joint. Paisans is that for me. That's the little local joint.
I don't think
me.
I've ever seen anyone sit in the joint. Like, it's dark in the dining room. Like, every time I go in there, it just seems like the dining room. You just pick up a pizza. Like no one really sits in the dining room. I love the place, but it's just like when you walk in, it's like you just order. Like, I don't think I've never been in there where actually I've sat in there.
This is a dirty little secret, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Walmart has a Sam's. What's it called? Sam's Choice. Is like Walmart brand?
Oh, like their pizzas that they have on the wall and everything.
They have a Sam's Choice pie that's a frozen pie. I get the bacon ranch Sam's Choice pizza.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how good it is. It's one of the best pizzas as a frozen. I mean, it's a $5 frozen pizza. I think it's called Sam's Choice. It's the Walmart brand.
Yeah, I've seen them all the time. They make their own or whatever, and they have them in there.
No, this isn't to make their own. This isn't like back by the. This isn't the one that's back by the bakery.
Yeah.
By the deli. This isn't the one that's by the deli. This is in the freezer section.
Okay.
It's like Sam's Choice, and it's in a white box, and it's the bacon ranch pizza.
That sounds good.
It has an unbelievable crust, and it is really good.
Yeah, if we're talking frozen, Screamin' Sicilian's really good too. That's out of out of Illinois, and you can get it at Walmart. It's Screamin' Sicilian. But I mean, if you go back to like high school days and get the high school pizza, you get Tony's. Tony's is
from the freezer.
Yeah, Tony's is basically the same.
Isn't bad.
Tony's is the same pizza that they serve at the high schools, and middle schools, like schools and everything.
All right,
got the insider trading on that.
Well, ask Josh Carey about pizza next. He'll be joining us for Carey's Corner right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Super Bowl 56, the Cincinnati Bengals facing the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium in LA Sunday evening. The Bengals a 4-point underdog. They have been underdogs for every game in the postseason that they have not played at home. The over-under set at 48.5. Tomorrow, the Waste Management Phoenix Open underway. John Rahm, the plus 750 favorite. Justin Thomas at plus 1,200. Patrick Cantlay at plus 1,400. Victor Hovland and Hideki Matsuyama each at plus 1,600. College basketball, Alabama 14-9 overall, 4-6 in the SEC on the road against Ole Miss. The Crimson Tide a 5-point favorite in Oxford. The over-under set at 143.5 on Tuesday night. Number 1 Auburn lost to Arkansas in overtime, 80-76. The first conference loss of the year for the Tigers.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
What began in a backyard in the 1920s is still going strong today. In this area, the name Gibson means barbecue. And even after over 65 years in Huntsville, Gibson's is trusted for delicious barbecue pork, chicken, ribs, freshly baked pies, and the best breakfast in town. Family owned and operated for 4 generations. Gibson's Barbecue, South Parkway in Huntsville, and online at gibsonsbbq.com. Gibson's Barbecue, Huntsville's best since 1956.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough we can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
I love overpriced stuff. Avocados, designer t-shirts, artisanal water. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. Paying more for the same stuff. What could be better?
Wow is better. For just $19.99 a month, we give you the super fast, extra reliable internet you need. Act now before this deal is gone. Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at Huawei.com. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures doing a great job at warming up. Seasonal for this time of year. Highs hanging out in the mid and upper 50s. Only dropping into the mid and upper 30s as we head into the overnight. A mostly or partly sunny sky through your Thursday afternoon. Upper 50s and lower 60s is what we can expect across the Tennessee Valley. Upper 30s and lower 40s for lows Thursday night, early Friday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're talking baseball. Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage. Brian Hammaker and his team standing by to make your mortgage experience as nice as possible. They're doing conventional VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They can help you with purchases and refinances. It can be a scary thing, except for when you do it with North Alabama Mortgage and with Brian Hammaker. 100%, almost 100% of their business comes from referrals. This is a referral from a client because I was a client of theirs as well. They did our refinance, which has led to our beautiful new kitchen, which got its new counters yesterday as well. By the way, as a guy, a veteran of many, many games, as a broadcaster, in most cases in minor league sports, I know about how much pizza you have to eat on the road, and it is National Pizza Day. So I bet that Josh Carey, voice of the Trash Pandas, that joins us for Carey's Corner, I bet he has a favorite pizza as well, and he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. How about you, partner?
I'm fantastic. Did you know it's National Pizza Day today? I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't, but I've always said that every day is National Pizza Day. There's no such thing as a bad day for pizza.
That's a great point. Do you have a favorite of the franchise pizzas? Like I go with Marco's. I think Marco's is my favorite. I like the Little Caesars. I'm more of a Papa John's than a Domino's guy. Domino's down there, the bottom of the list for me. None of these are sponsors, so I don't have to worry about insulting anyone. But do you have a preference, and what's the pizza like at the ballpark there?
Okay, so Domino's is actually one of our sponsors. So Domino's is the best. Yay!
Yay!
But
like I said, I love Domino's. I mean, that's my favorite.
Yeah, actually, I do like Domino's. Seriously, I mean, they. In all honesty, if you need a dinner in a crunch and you're not really sure what to do, that's the best way to go because you know what you're getting, right? But Papa John's is also one of our sponsors, and they're a pretty safe bet as well. But if you're wanting something like something a specialty, something that's really good, I'm going to give them a nice little plug here. Over on County Line Road is a place called Goodland Poorhouse. They do Detroit-style pizza, not Chicago style, not Long Island style. Detroit-style pizza. It is fantastic.
Now, what is Detroit-style pizza? You don't have to shoot your way in and shoot your way out to get to pizza, do you? I mean, what would make it Detroit as opposed to Chicago or New York is thin, Chicago is thick and stuffed. What is Detroit?
Detroit's more like Chicago. It's thick, but the thing is, it's they slice it up into 6 squares, right? And so it's thick in nature, and it's doughy. It doesn't have the same. It's not as thick as a Chicago style, so it's not that deep. But it's very similar to that. And what they do is they put the regular cheese on there, and then they put a mozzarella ball on top of it as well.
Oh.
It's sinful. I feel disgusting every time I walk out of there. So I'm giving them a free plug because I've been there a few times. And for me, for bang for my buck, that's the best way to go if you're looking for a specialty item.
What was the name of it again? What's the name of the joint?
Goodland Poorhouse.
Goodland Poorhouse. Okay. All right. Goodland Poorhouse.
County Line Road. It's about a mile before you get to 72.
Yeah, we plugged another little local joint, the pizza. What is it called? The Pizzeria. The Pizzeria over on the east side of town. We gave them a little plug as well. Hey, these little businesses, they need a little love, and it's National Pizza Day. So I mean, you have to. You got to give these people a little love.
Yeah, I mean, look, without those little guys, I mean, nothing against the Domino's and the Papa John's of the world, but, you go to the big chains all the time, you know what to expect, right? You need some variety in life. So that's what the little guys do. And, they know they're a fabric of the community.
I don't know if this is serendipitous or if somebody's listening or what the story is, but just moments after we started the interview with you, I got the email from Aaron over at the Trash Pandas with the 2022 media credential application. That's one of those things, you have these little things that happen like SEC Media Days invites and things like that let you know you're at a certain time of year. And it got a little bit warmer. It just got like a couple of degrees warmer when Aaron sent over the 2022 Trash Pandas media credential application. I mean, that just makes me feel like warm nights at the ballpark.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, whenever the schedule hits to February, that's when it's pretty much go time. And really, once we get past Sunday and the Super Bowl ends, then it's all hands on deck from that point. So, right now, aside from the first few hours of each morning, it feels like spring now. And we're getting excited. Just the fact that we're getting out of the doldrums of winter and we're getting ready. We know we're going to have baseball, unlike some other folks. And so it's an exciting time. So we're booking groups, we're booking suites, we're getting sponsors into the ballpark. We're trying to put signs up. It's a hectic time of year for us, but it's a fun time. It's the type of stuff we live for.
Nobody cares about this that is listening, except for those of us that work. Are we going to be allowed to go in the press box now, or what? I mean, it was very limited. It was very limited in the past as to who was allowed up there. Do you think they're going to start loosening up those rules at all?
Yeah, for the press box, you guys will be good to go. I think the clubhouses, I'm not sure of. Right. I've heard nothing on that. But, it's funny, and I'm sure you noticed this. The NBA has started to relax their rules. The NFL has as well. I think people are starting to come around to the idea that, and I'm not an expert, none of us are, but this Omicron, it is what it is. And,
right.
You at some point you got to kind of move on. So I think things are going to start to loosen up here in 2022. And hopefully we can start getting people not into the clubhouses, then certainly down on the field, so you guys can really meet the players and get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to. We're coming to grips with the fact that all of these different variants and so on and so forth of the virus, this is just something we're going to have to live with, right? I mean, it's not ever going to go away. The flu didn't go away, the cold didn't go away, other lung type diseases and things like that don't go away. This is something, however you want to deal with it, or what chances you want to take, whether or not you want vaccines or not, whatever. But this is something that in our lifetime I don't believe is going to go away. It's not like someday we're going to wake up and there's not going to be any kind of virus that's related to anything called COVID.
Yeah, someone said this to me. This was in 2020 when everything was just starting out, and this person was not an expert either. But he flat out said, and now he wound up being 100% right. It's a mutated form of the flu. I mean, and no one wanted to say that at the time because it was supposed to be, no, it's bigger than the flu. You can't say that. It's something bigger than that. Well, guess what? It's a mutated, screwed up form of the flu that at the time we didn't have any measure of a cure for, and we still don't, but we at least have some sense of a remedy that can at least hold it off. And hopefully science will continue to do its magic and get something better down the line. But I think we've been held back for long enough, and now we got to start moving forward and getting back to life.
Trash Pandas broadcaster Josh Carey with us here. Will we get a resolution? Is there any sort of cure for what's going on between the MLBPA and the owners? Do you think we're moving a little bit closer? Have you been encouraged at all by any of what you have been able to read about where we're at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised by anything. I mean, there's always going to be this back and forth, who shot John stuff. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything that's happened. I was hoping they could keep it out of the media a little more and keep it under wraps some, but I guess that was just too much to do. I don't like the idea that they've gone to that MLB wants to go to a mediator. I think that's a little too much. But I do think I am encouraged by the fact that both sides are on it now. And they understand, I think, the importance of making sure they get the season underway on time. When the lockout began, I always felt there was a possibility that this thing could go into spring training. That was a possibility, just as long as it didn't impact the regular season. That was the number one thing. So they still have time to get things done. And I still feel pretty good about things, but it's getting to crunch time right now. And so the fact that they are meeting and they are getting together, even with the bickering back and forth, I think both sides know how important it is to get something done.
And this isn't like the 50s and 60s where the players were like working some job at an insurance company and then all of a sudden showed up at spring training and started throwing to get themselves in condition and so on. I mean, these are world-class athletes. We got to believe pitchers and catchers, while not reporting necessarily to spring training sites, I'm sure they're finding a place where they can throw and where they can, where batters are in cages hitting and so on. It's not like they're not allowed to do anything. They're just not allowed to do it at the major league site.
Yeah, the only people I'm worried about are the pitchers a little bit. It takes a hitter about 2 weeks to get his timing down, like a really good hitter. But you're right. The guys are in shape all the time. If you remember the 2020 season, and that one was kind of a mess, there were a lot of ugly scores that season. And part of it was because the pitching was not that great all throughout baseball, because guys were, you can go, and of course at the time, no one knew what to make of the pandemic. So guys, they would go out, they would exercise, but they really weren't able to throw, 4, 5, 6 innings and stretch their arms out. So they really couldn't go very far into ball games once that 60-game season got underway. That would be the only thing I'm a little concerned about. But if they can put together just a 3 or 4 week spring training together, cobble something like that together, they should be okay. Because as you said, these guys are athletes year round. They don't need, 7 weeks of spring training to get into shape. The reason why they still do it is because it still makes money, the spring training game. So, but they'll be fine.
Yeah, the economies of those locations too. I mean, it's so huge in Florida and Arizona what spring training brings in, for sure. Josh Carey with us here. Now, here's a dirty little secret that nobody said anything about. They stopped testing for PEDs. I don't know if you saw this story, but with the contract running out. Also, what ran out was the sports joint drug program, and they're not testing. All of a sudden, they haven't been testing for the last month, and they won't be testing until it's agreed upon as part of the new agreement. And there's been a lot of conversation about there are some sophisticated steroid-type medications that you can take in, they call it microdosing, that literally are out of your system within days. So if the players know that, okay, the testing program is going to begin again at some particular point in time, they could literally stop that. You just wonder what impact this might be having in this 2 or maybe 3 month period where there's no PED testing for the first time in 20 years.
I mean, all that does is it gives them a 2 or 3 month window there to try whatever they want to before they have to get back on their P's and Q's. I mean, there's going to be some sort of testing. And when it comes to those little microscopic doses they take, these guys make so much money. Everyone can try that out and see if they want to do it or not. But again, I mean, there's just so much risk involved. I think after what we've all seen with the Hall of Fame voting, there's a lot of risk and taking that stuff anyway. So I don't think guys are going to go nuts on it. I don't think they need to. I think the risk does not meet the reward at this point. So I just see that as being a very little speed bump, if you will. And if guys are smart, they're just going to stick with what they're doing. They might try a thing or two just to see how they feel about it. But I don't see that being a huge change because something will get done once a new deal is hammered out.
No, I agree. It's interesting, though, that, in 2007, after they had tested everybody to determine if they needed a plan, in the Mitchell report, there were 85 players that were implicated in the PED use then, 7 MVPs and 31 All-Stars that were implicated in that deal back then. Now, I would think that it would be more maybe the marginal guy, right? Maybe the guy that's trying to break through. He's been up and down a few times from AAA to the bigs, back and forth, and maybe he thinks it gets him a little bit of an edge when they do go to some kind of spring training. I don't think it's going to be, Mike Trout. I think it's more apt to be some guy trying something that could maybe push him into the bigs.
Yeah, and you're right. It's guys who are looking for that last push who, maybe don't have a ton to lose because their thinking is, look, I get to the majors. If I can last a couple of seasons, I'm going to have some serious money I can put away and last myself for a little bit. And for those guys, the risk is worth it because if you didn't take it, then you'd be stuck at AAA for the rest of your life, not making a ton of money. Whereas you get pushed to the majors, now you can make a little bit of dinero before you call it a career and then move on with life. So, I could see those guys doing it. There were a few guys who were just busted in the minors a couple of weeks back. So the testing is still going on for those guys. So they still have to be a little careful moving forward. But, it just goes to show you at the end of the day, no matter what you put into your body, it just comes down to what your natural ability is. And, does it carry the day? And does the team that you're on, do they need you at that moment? So it's really a lot to do about nothing.
What isn't a lot to do about nothing is the Freddie Freeman situation with Atlanta. And again, you start seeing players and even some stories that are being written that are like, just pay the man. He's the face of it. I don't think everyone understands maybe. They can't do anything right now. They can't pay the man. They can't even. I don't know if anybody from the club is even allowed to talk to his agent or what, but the fact that it's now February and Freddie Freeman still isn't signed shouldn't be, I don't think, a big red flag of anything. We're in a total lockout. We're in a total shutdown. Hopefully, when the deal is signed, the first deal that'll be announced will be Freddie Freeman's re-signed with the Braves. But, we can't – I don't think we can make too much of it right now.
No, and that's what's going to make things so interesting when the lockout is finished. Is you're going to see all of these free agent signings happening at once. I mean, guys are going to be moving left and right, and it's going to be hard to keep up. But when it comes to Freddie's situation, and for what it's worth, no, the agents and the team cannot be talking right now because of the lockout. But what's interesting with Freddie is we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know what's all going into these negotiations, right? Does Freddie want 6 years? Do the Braves want 4? Are they willing to come in the middle at 5? Does Freddie want 8 years? If you're the Braves, do you really want to sign Freddie for that long after seeing what's happened to Albert Pujols and Miggy Cabrera? I mean, it's easy for us fans to want to side with the player because the players who we see every day, and we relate to the player more because the player, even though he's paid real well, is still just the Joe Schmo worker, whereas the executives up top are the ones who are funneling the money, right? So we tend to want to relate to the ball player, but we have to look at it from the executive side as well. They don't want to get locked into this long-term deal with a guy who may start to break down in about 5 or 6 years. So you don't want to just hand over the money just to look good from a PR standpoint. You want to make sure that this is a good investment that's going to last several seasons. And if he does start to wear down at the very end, make sure it's at the very end where each side can walk away peacefully.
And finally, Josh Carey with us here of the Broadcasting Carries. Obviously, many ties to Atlanta with his dad and his brother and so on. There's a book I have in my hand right now. This is a thick book. If you're going to be traveling with the team again back on the bus, this is one that you want to read. It's about 400 pages, written by Clayton Tudor, and it's called Loserville: How Professional Sports Remade Atlanta and How Atlanta Remade Professional Sports. The reason it's called Loserville is from a 1975 article in the Atlanta Constitution, a 2-part series that was entitled Loserville, USA, and it talked about the futility of Atlanta's 4 professional sports teams that had come in, after 1966. It is interesting. It talks about the politics of building stadiums and bringing teams in and so on. And you're a little bit young probably to remember, and as am I, but can you imagine what Atlanta, the city, would be like without any professional sports, without any Georgia Dome and any RCA Stadium and any baseball and anything? Can you imagine what Atlanta would have been like if they had never gotten professional sports?
I'll tell you what, it almost happened. And if it had happened, Birmingham would have reaped the benefits, I think, because I know Birmingham was considered heavily, at least on 2 occasions, for an NFL team. And if you get an NFL team, then who knows what else happens. Right. But the single person, the most important person to Atlanta sports was Ted Turner. Because when Ted Turner came in and bought the Braves in 1976, he basically not only bought the Braves, he also bought the Atlanta Hawks. And he was the one willing to say, hey, not only am I going to buy them, I'm going to keep them here. I'm going to open up Turner Studios and CNN and all this other stuff. And we're going to make Atlanta not into just a national city, it's going to become an international city. And at the time, the Braves were about a frog's hair from moving to Toronto, and the Hawks were a frog's hair moving to Louisville, Kentucky.
Really?
Well,
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And the Flames were already in a lot of trouble. They wound up moving to Calgary. So the Flames go to Calgary, Hawks go to Louisville, Braves go to Toronto. Suddenly you're left with what was at the time a really bad NFL franchise in the Falcons, who a couple of times threatened to move themselves, I think one time to Jacksonville. But here's the point. When Ted came in and said, I'm buying the Hawks, I'm buying the Braves, and I'm going to keep them here, that kept Atlanta being a pro sports city. And even though the Braves were terrible for about the first 10 years or so of his run, with the exception of a couple of years, his money kept them in Atlanta despite some woeful attendance numbers. And without that happening, who knows what happens to Atlanta sports? You're probably left with one bad NFL franchise without any other support, would have probably had to have left town as well. And if all of that happens, there's no Olympic Games, and you're probably left with just Georgia and Georgia Tech, and you're probably more like where Birmingham is right now, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah, Birmingham's a great city, but it doesn't have any major professional sports. That's where it would be. I would guess either Birmingham or Memphis would have reaped the benefits of that.
Did the Braves play at Fulton County their first year? Was that ready for them?
Yes.
Year one? Okay, so it is fascinating that the Braves and the Falcons, I mean, the Braves are playing in their Fulton County, their third stadium in really just 40 years, which is, amazing. And same thing with the Falcons, 3 different places in 41, 42 years, something like that. That's kind of unprecedented as well. I mean, that they built so many stadiums there once it started.
It was not ideal, but here's the deal. With Turner Field, they couldn't build around it. Like all this stuff we're doing at Toyota Field with Town Madison and all the restaurants and all, the Braves wanted to do the same thing with Turner Field. The city of Atlanta wouldn't let them. And so the Braves were like, look, we got to go because we're not making enough money. So they go up to the Burbs, and now you go up there, and you've got, what do they call around Truist?
The Battery.
The Battery, yeah. And it's been nothing but a success. I mean, you if you draw 20,000 people to an Atlanta Braves game, which isn't a great attendance, well, you're still going to make up for all the revenue you bring into the restaurants and the shops and all that other stuff. And that's what that all was. And that's why the Braves wanted that. It was an unusual move, but it was the right move. And it's worked out. It was the right move, and it was smart.
Always a pleasure. Josh Carey has been our guest. Josh, I appreciate you, man. Great stuff. We'll talk next week.
All right. Thanks, partner. See ya.
Yep. All right, it's a good break. We'll come back and set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. Coming in April, Valley will have a second location opening up on the North Parkway between Winchester Road and Bob Wade. They'll be offering bigger contractor-only type equipment, including 10K reach forklifts, 300 series track hose, and larger rollers and dozers, along with other equipment. Valley Equipment's 2 locations will better serve the region and allow them to grow their fleet. Valley Equipment Rental, locally owned for 10 years, where they put more care in every rental.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into... Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family-owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Leaving his mark on sports talk radio with a paddle.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Join West Neighbors weekday afternoons on The Drive, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm ready for it.
Billy Equipment Rental. Got everything you need to get a job done like a pro. Got a new location coming, a second location coming in the North Parkway as well, up past Winchester Road there, and they're going to have all kinds of equipment for the contractor. It's Valley Equipment Rental. They have what you need to get the job done like a pro. This kid, I got this newsletter right from the UAH Chargers talking about the last 4 games coming up at home and all that kind of stuff. And they got a picture of a basketball player in there shooting a jump shot. His name is Jack Costal. He is a freshman out of Decola, Georgia. He looks like one of my kids. Grizz, did you see it? I forwarded it to you. Does he not look like John? He looks like my son John. Not in his bio picture.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
He looks like John.
He's smooth.
I'm like, what's up, man? I said, one of my boys playing on the team. I didn't know he was playing on the team. My gosh. Crazy. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Al Smith is going to join us. He is a former All-Pro linebacker with the Houston Oilers back in the day. Worked 10 years in the front office of the Tennessee Titans. He is the president of the Tennessee chapter of the NFL alumni. He's also on the board of the National NFL Alumni. He's a pretty busy guy. He'll be heading out to L.A. here next day or so. And he'll join us next, talk Super Bowl and other issues around the NFL right here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that, you just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys, it's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell. Because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Get your Ford your way today. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got F-150s in stock right now. We have F-150s on the ground so you can climb behind the wheel and take a test drive today. Plus at Woody Anderson Ford, our 2021 F-150s come with $1,000 in bonus cash, along with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months with your good credit. This offer ends February 28th. To be clear, these F-150s are in stock today, ready for your garage tonight. Now let's talk about making a custom factory order. Not only is there no extra cost to custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on 2022 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, and Mustang. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and you'll see how easy it is. And speaking of easy, our service department is now offering free pickup and delivery when it's time for your next Ford service. Ask about it at Woody Anderson Ford, the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Look forward to seeing you.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the Lakers believe their roster is not working and something must be done to get the team back on course. According to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, the sense of urgency to make changes has been building for weeks, and standing pat not seen as a viable option by the players. Last night, LA trailed by as many as 30 to the Bucks. Russell Westbrook benched in the fourth quarter for a second straight game. Lakers have dropped 10 of their last 15. They're ninth in the West, currently in the play-in tournament. If 76ers point guard Ben Simmons doesn't get his trade request granted by tomorrow's trade deadline, center Joel Embiid says he'll be welcome back to the team, but Embiid made it quite clear it'll be up to Simmons to show he wants to be part of the Sixers if he is not dealt. The latest on the NBA news coming up next when ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski joins Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
The journey for 19 begins this year. This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we'll bring all the action to you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho. Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
As we start hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, let me tell you that this segment is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center. For all your orthopedic needs, it is the Orthopedic Center. I mean, it's not just TOC Sports, right? I mean, they handle athletes, they handle injuries. They handled my sons when they had issues and knee issues and things like that. I would always take them to TOC. But it's any kind of injury that you got. Maybe it happened at work. Maybe it happened working in the yard. Maybe it happened renovating your kitchen. I know somebody that's been banged up and had back issues from renovating a kitchen. Anyway, it's TOC, the Orthopedic Center. Over 20 years in the Tennessee Valley taking care of folks, and they do a tremendous job. By the way, just to finish the little thing I was telling Grizz about that picture of the kid, number 11, from UAH basketball. My son walked into the studio. My son John, who's a senior over there, and is in the communications department and is doing stuff over there now. He came in and I showed it to him, and he says, "Yeah, I took that picture." He took the picture. The kid that looks just like my kid. I mean, I know I got a lot of kids, but the kid that took the picture of the kid that looks like my kid, it was my kid. So there you go. All right. Al Smith is a former All-Pro linebacker with the Houston Oilers, spent 10 years in the front office of the Tennessee Titans, is on the board of the national NFL alumni. He is the president of the Tennessee chapter of the alumni, has a son playing football for Eddie George at TSU. What else do you need to know about him? He's a busy guy, all right? And he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Al, my friend, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good. How you doing, big dog?
I am fantastic. I should also say former co-host as well of the Thom Abraham Show. He was one. Tomorrow,
the good old days, huh?
The good old days. Tomorrow I got another former co-host of the Thom Abraham Show going to be on. Our good friend Brad Hopkins. His son is a member of the Rams, and it looks like he will be active with the injuries they've had at tight end. He's been in and out of the lineup throughout this year, but Bryson Hopkins, it looks like he will be active for the Rams for the Super Bowl, and so that's got to be really exciting for Hop. But Al, it's kind of weird because Hot played in the Super Bowl. It was against the Rams, and now his kid is playing for the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better storyline than that. So, good luck to Bryson. I mean, he's a great kid, great opportunity. He took advantage of his opportunity. So it's great for the whole Hopkins family.
Yeah. Well, and look, let's be honest. His career took off, Bryson's did, like your son, Christian, when he played in the Turkey Bowl. When he played in the Abraham's annual Turkey Bowl for Thanksgiving morning, which you participated in that as well. Christian has played with us. But when Bryson is the first alumni of the Turkey Bowl to make it into the NFL and to the Super Bowl. So that's kind of a thing, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, that's a great thing. Actually, they have a couple guys from the area on the team. The receiver as well. So,
Jalen Ramsey, right? Ramsey went to right. Jalen Ramsey. He's from. He's from the exactly. So it is amazing.
And Jefferson from Ravenwood.
Right, from Ravenwood. That's right. I forgot that. Yeah, Justin Jefferson from Ravenwood. That's why I always chuckle a little bit when they talk about Tennessee, the University of Tennessee, and them saying that they have to recruit nationally because there's not enough good players in the state of Tennessee. I think that's changed a lot. I think that's an old story. I think that over the past 10, 12 years, and some of it has to do with guys that played for the Titans and stayed in the area, and now they got kid, whatever. But I think in the past 10 or 12 years, there are a lot of pretty good football players in the state of Tennessee that go to places outside of the state of Tennessee to play football.
That is true, unfortunately. But I feel like a lot of the schools here have to, really reevaluate their focus and kind of, look at their own backyard. Sometimes it's kind of like your own kids. Sometimes you're looking at, instead of looking at in your own house, you're kind of looking down the street and around the corner and in the next state. So a lot of times you just got to kind of reevaluate what's around you and then kind of build out from there, because there's a lot of talent in Tennessee, a lot of players that obviously have stepped up and done some great things, some great programs, and I think the teams would buy well to be able to tap into the talent that they have here in the state.
Yeah, and we've seen kids go to Alabama. I think was it Dante Hightower? I think is from Pulaski, Tennessee, and he went down to Alabama. We've seen kids go to Notre Dame. Golden Tate, another Nashville area kid that ended up at Notre Dame. I mean, there are players that get overlooked, I think, in the state of Tennessee. So I think they could do some more damage here. How you're good friends with Eddie George. How is that all working? Your boy is there. Do you think that this is something that Eddie is really looking forward to turning around, kind of like what Deion Sanders did at down at Jackson State?
Yeah, he seems very committed. Obviously, he lost one of his coordinators. Obviously, Hugh Jackson was a coordinator last year that got a head job. You can't blame some of them for taking a head job. But, his staff is pretty much intact, other than losing maybe a couple of coaches that went with Hugh. But he seems committed. They got a lot of building going on, new weight room, new facility. Some things have started to move. You see the dirt moving. You see some buildings happening. So he's, trying to change the landscape over there and really change the infrastructure of the program. And I think in the next few years or so, things are really kicking off. They did have some success last year in his first year, and they didn't even have a spring ball. They didn't have a chance to really recruit or get his players in there, so to speak. So these next few years, I think there will be a nice turn for him.
You were also on Derek Mason's staff at Vanderbilt for a number of years in an off-the-field role. There's been a lot of talk about that down here, about the fact that Derek Mason left Brian Harson's staff and took a $400,000 pay cut to go be the same thing, a defensive coordinator on Mike Gundy's staff at Oklahoma State. Now, for a guy like you, $400,000, that's nothing, right? Drop in a bucket. But, for most of us, $400,000 pay cut. He went from making $1.5 million to making $1.1 million. That's got to tell you something about the inner workings that, something was wrong at Auburn under Brian Harsin, who, I don't know, he might have been blown out by now. We're waiting to see when that shoe is going to drop. But you know D. Mason. I mean, for that guy, the other D. Mason, Derek Mason, for that guy to leave Auburn and take that kind of a pay cut, obviously there was issues in that coaching room.
Yeah, it seems like something's coming down the pike. I mean, I'll be jumping the gun to try to anticipate what the situation is, but obviously something's going on in the program. For someone to leave after 1 year, he has some success. You know, they had Alabama on the ropes. They had some big games. They won some big games. The defense improved. Auburn was on the brink of doing some great things, and all of a sudden now something, I don't know if some scandal coming or whatever the case may be, but for a guy to leave for the same position, basically, to leave the SEC conference and all those type of things, it has to be something brewing for him to take that kind of pay cut and to go laterally to Oklahoma State.
Part of it is they lost 18 kids, left the program through the transfer portal. What's your overall take? I mean, you got a kid that's playing college ball, and he used the transfer portal to go from Eastern Michigan to TSU, and there are other reasons for that, possibly a chance to come home and a chance to play for Eddie George. But there's like 1,500 kids in the transfer portal right now, and you were in that position at Vanderbilt where you were advising kids and their, on how to take care of their business and being a college student and so on and so forth. What would be your message to players that commit to a school? And now that commitment doesn't really even mean that much because the first time they don't like something, they're jumping that transfer portal.
Well, a lot of times it's, every individual is a different situation for every kid or whatever the case may be. A lot of times it's playing time or what have you, but it's kind of turning into, because of the NIL deals, that has changed the landscape now because I can make more money in this city or in this market better than another market. Just like the Oklahoma quarterback is kind of marketing himself, kind of seeing, what the highest bidder is and those type of things. I think having options are good. Just like coaches, coaches jump around. They leave all the time for better opportunities, or, whether it be the Notre Dame coach leaving or going for greener pastures, or other different coaches leaving for greener pastures, or flirting like Harbaugh, flirting with other opportunities. Now players have the opportunity to be able to move as well, but at the same time, they put it out there without any restrictions on it. It's kind of like, got free agencies, but all the loopholes and all the different things, there wasn't any guideline, any playbook with it. It was kind of put out there, and now you have kind of like the Wild Wild West, and everybody is trying to kind of reel it back in. But I like the fact that players, do have options, because a lot of times being able to you can be able to move for various reasons. It could be family reasons. It could be being closer to home. It could be your parents are sick, or your grandparents are sick, or you want to become closer to home. There's a lot of factors, not just playing time. And now that you got the financial piece in there as well, it puts it in a situation where now it's become a business. Obviously, a lot of people take that amateurism and don't want to equate the business aspect with it, but college football is business, because if it wasn't business, the coaches wouldn't be making the money they're making, they wouldn't be leaving the way they're leaving, and the programs wouldn't be bringing in the dollars that they bring in as well.
Yeah, and they're going to have to kind of have some kind of regulation there too, because we have too many different states with different rules, and you mentioned the Wild Wild West. I mean, you just don't know what the rule is. In some states, the school can be involved in helping a kid with NIL. In other states, they can't be involved. The school can't be involved. Now Florida is going to start selling the jerseys of the kids, and the kids are going to get a piece of that action, which I've advocated for that for years. You buy a jersey, you're buying a number 15 Florida jersey. You're buying a Tim Tebow jersey. Just because it doesn't say Tim Tebow on the back, it doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So the players should take advantage of that, I would think. But, that's a whole nother deal. And you guys had that with NFL properties. That was something that was negotiated over the years with the union, right, where I was telling the story about how, every hat, every sweatshirt, every anything throughout the whole league that was bought, I think the number was like 3% went to the players and was divvied up evenly amongst every player in the league, whether he was a high-paid quarterback or the last-paid guy on the roster. They all got an even check from NFL properties. So you guys loved it when they were selling all those new hats and shirts and everything else.
Well, anytime like that, when you have even revenue sharing, because of the fact that if you have like a high-profile player or Tom Brady or what have you, obviously back then they had quarterbacks. The quarterbacks would have their own conglomerate and try to do their own thing, and a lot of times that take away from obviously other individuals, because then you have the cliques within a team and revenue avenues through within those teams. So you try to make it to where it's parity even amongst all the players, and that's what NFL properties at that time was trying to do, is trying to kind of bring a pool and then distribute it in a way that is fair and equitable for the masses.
Well, and it's the same way with the owners, right? Because, I mean, whether or not you're a great team or a bad team, you all pretty much, I mean, they all share kind of equally in that revenue, the TV money and things like that. Obviously, certain teams make more money than others, but, the TV money and all that other revenue gets kind of whacked up pretty evenly. Al Smith with us here, former All-Pro linebacker. All right, Al, Rooney Rule. I mean, there's a lot of talk about this every year after we have the hiring cycle goes through, and we saw what Brian Flores did. He's a very capable coach. The results speak for themselves, but he kind of threw napalm on this thing before the process ended, and we see Lovie Smith get the job in Houston, who Lovie has I don't want to be disrespectful to Lovie because Lovie has a great record as well, although he hasn't done much in recent years. What was your take on what Brian Flores did to kind of light this fire as this process was going on?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, obviously there's an issue in the league. Obviously, the league has admitted that there's an issue, that they would like to do better and do better in a lot of areas. Obviously, the timing of it was questionable in my mind, in that there were still positions open at the time, 5 or 6 positions open at the time. I would have liked to have seen the process play out. Then it may have, even though it could probably even hit harder, because of the fact now you were still a candidate, for some of those positions, but you got the lawsuit out there. It seems like Houston was going to be hiring Josh McCown, who didn't even have any coaching experience other than high school before Lovie came in the ninth hour. So you just kind of wonder, although Lovie, has some history, he has some pedigree, so to speak, but to get to his third chance as a head coach after not even having success on the college ranks, because even at Illinois, they didn't have winning records there, so it made it tough in that regard. But things won't change until the owners make these decisions until there's an ownership. I mean, I don't believe in advocating them. You make somebody that own something to do something that they don't want to do.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to have something in place to make it fair and equitable, or have more minority ownership, what have you, because that is an issue as well. Because as far as breaking in, there's individuals that are able to come in and be able to be owners, but they're not allowed to be owners at the same time. So opening up that to create an avenue from the top that hopefully trickles down to the bottom, because you can't change hearts. It's hard to change people's hearts, their minds. If that was the case, the world would be a whole lot better place. If that was the case, if we were able to change a lot of hearts and minds and what have you. But at the same time, even though things are right, sometimes people don't always do the right things and the fair and equitable things. And to be able to mandate that, obviously, will cause a backlash as well. But there has to be something in place to be able to, from the top, as far as creating more ownership opportunities for minorities of all, women or what have you, just to be able to come in and be able to have some kind of equity in the ownership ranks as well.
Yeah, and we've seen female owners. I mean, there's one in Nashville. So we've seen that. We got a team for sale now in the Rams. We see there's a team that's for sale now with the Denver Broncos, and we'll see what who emerges as an ownership group there. The thing that I would hate to see happen is, would there be undue pressure? Let's say they had, for example, Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets. His coach is white. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, Michael Jordan, oh, you got to hire a black guy because you're Michael Jordan. He still has the right to hire the best guy possible that he thinks is the best guy possible, right? So we need to keep that door open, I think.
Well, exactly. Even if it's not the coach, it could be the it's not just the coach. It could be the GM. The GM hires the coach. And so it's like, just having some layers there, because there's qualified white coaches, there's qualified minorities coaches, and just being able to see, if I was the owner or what have you, I would like to see a greater diverse pool of people, because I could be missing out on the next great coach if I limit my pool of applicants. And then I'm missing out on the next great coach that could possibly.
But don't you think they just want to win? Don't you think they just want to win? I mean, I think that's what you would think. I mean, you would think that, but just because I have dinner with Belichick doesn't make me a good coach. Just because I hung out with Sean McVay for a little while doesn't mean I'm a great coach. Right.
So, a lot of times it's like, well, I was in the building with such and such, then I could be a head coach just because. That don't mean that they're the same individual. It could be they don't mix with players well. The communication skills aren't there. You may be on the board and be able to talk about X's and O's on the board, but those X's and O's on the board don't move. You have to be able to communicate to people once those X's and O's start moving, and being able to communicate that to players. A lot of times there's a disconnect with the communication aspect between coach and player, and now you have these millennials, and now you have. That's why a lot of times I think they're going with the younger coaches, thinking that they're at a closer age to the players, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's a respect level because of the fact that someone's is close to your age. A lot of times there's a disconnect there unless there is a good communication that takes place within that as well.
Right. Al Smith with us from the NFL Alumni. And I look at the situation, I think it's fascinating. Of course, we had two minorities hired as GMs in Chicago and in Minnesota. Now, the kid hired you talk about young people, the kid hired in Chicago, Ryan Poles, is 36 years old. And, Al, I don't know if you know this or not, I've known this kid since he was 3 years old. His daddy was my roommate. His father was my junior Poles out of Boston College. He was my roommate on the road when I coached in college. And June and I are really, really close. And Ryan is another veteran of Turkey Bowls. Ryan played at Turkey Bowl when he was 6 years old. So anyway, he gets the head coaching job at Chicago, and everybody's thinking, ooh, they just hired the assistant GM from the Kansas City Chiefs. Eric Bieniemy has got to be coming with them, right? He didn't even call Eric Bieniemy in for an interview. He did interview Jim Caldwell, and then the next day, 2 days after he was hired, he hired the Eberfluss, whatever his name is, from the Colts. Another 50-something-year-old white guy that he hired, and I worried that there was pressure on him that he had to, because he's African American, he had to hire an African American coach. He made the decision to hire the best guy, but I wonder that he thought is the best guy. But I wonder if he didn't bring in Eric Bieniemy. Maybe there's something else that's going on there. Maybe there's something we don't know. We just assume that Eric Bieniemy is some great coach. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's not a great communicator, like you say, or something. But that I thought was fascinating that he didn't even have an interview with Eric Bieniemy in Chicago. And he made that hire. I know for a fact that McCaskies were not making that hire. He, as the GM, was told it's your hire to make. You hired a coach.
Yeah, so, I mean, you have to ask yourself those questions. I mean, you hear it on both sides. You're like, well, it's the reason why he hasn't got a job. It's the reason why this. Well, some may say, well, because he's a minority. I mean, some may argue the minority aspects. Some may argue that there's something else there. But what that something else is, we're just speculating. So I don't want to speculate on something I don't know about. But all I know is the results of that offense in Kansas City, and him calling the plays has been a consistent. That has been a consistent. But at the same time, you wonder why he hasn't had a legitimate opportunity. Now, he has interviewed quite a bit, and some guys had interviewed one time that you haven't heard of to get a job.
Yeah.
They had one.
Well, Mike,
good year.
Mike Tomlin did that. Mike Tomlin blew the socks off of the Steelers when he came in, and it was funny because they were the ones, the Rooney Rule is them, and they had him. He was a defensive backs coach at the Minnesota Vikings. Had never even been a coordinator, and they had him in for an interview. He blew them away, and they hired him on the spot. And they were like, we didn't even know this guy, and we called him in, and he did a great job. So, there is that. That's the key. What you said is we don't know. We really don't. We don't know if Andy Reid is whispering in his ear to say, look, I'm 62. I'm going to be here another year or two, and then you take over this team with Patrick Mahomes, We don't know what the situation was with Bieniemy. We don't know really even how many plays Bieniemy calls. So Andy Reid calling those plays, Eric Bieniemy calling those, whose offense is it? We don't know. We think we know, but we just don't know, really, in the end.
But a lot of times you can see the dynamics on the sideline of who's talking to who, because a lot of times, at least me myself, from the outside looking in, I see that Bieniemy's connected with the quarterback and the communication to the quarterback. Now, a lot of times, I'm sure Andy may interject, but I think during the week they have dialogue. But on game day, Bieniemy makes the call unless it's third and whatever or fourth.
Or he gets
down,
input. You could tell they're talking to they're talking to each other all throughout the game. You could tell that there's input.
Yeah, there's input there, but that's good. I mean, Belichick has that. Belichick, he doesn't call the defense anymore. I think his son does, or what have you. But in crucial moments, you can see Belichick is having some dialogue, whoever that play caller is, whether it be McDaniels or what have you. And then you can look at McDaniels. Why is it taking so long for McDaniels? Okay, he had some opportunities. He walked away from an opportunity. Now he gets another opportunity. Is McDaniels going to be a successful head coach, or is he just a real good coordinator?
Yeah. Well, and that's you never know. Yeah, and you never know when these guys are connected. My question, I just don't know what the answer is. DeMaurice Smith said in an article that he wrote, he said that in short, the Rooney Rule was more of a suggestion and left absolute control to the individual NFL owners. He said that there was it's a rule that has no consequences and no transparency and no accountability. But we know that that's not true because Matt Millen was fined $200,000 in 2003, and the Lions were fined $500,000 because they hired Steve Mariucci without interviewing a minority. So there is, and plus you get draft picks. If you develop a minority that goes on to someplace else, you get 2 third-round draft picks for that. So there's something there. But what I can't figure out, everybody's bitching about it, and everybody wants to see it be, make sure that it's equitable. But what the hell is the answer? I don't know what we do. What can you do? You can't say, I'm going to pick your coach for you.
Well, it comes down to the decision makers, and once you have more, decision makers, just like the tree. You say make big tree. Okay, they lost the quarterback coach. Vrabel lost his quarterback coach that went to the Green Bay, LaFleur.
Right.
So if you don't have a guy that can create a tree, the tree is going to be, you will have one fruit off of that tree.
It's a stump.
It's going to look the same.
Yeah.
It's going to look the same. So until you have a diverse tree, it's not going to be diverse because of the fact that when everybody looks at off of this tree, off of that tree, he's a disciple of Shanahan or what have you. But at the same time, the guy that Cully, 1 year in Houston, which I thought that was a sham. I think they had him set up from the get-go that he was going to be a 1-year deal. And he was crazy, and he had success. They went 4-12 with a star quarterback, and then they went 4-12 without a star quarterback with him. So he held the ship together. Basically, when you don't have a quarterback and you have a different roster, what have you, and then you let a guy like that go. So is this very interesting? Or even Flores? When you say Flores, I don't know what the inner workings of it, but I look at his record. And did the Dolphins improve from the time he walked in there? Yes.
Sure.
Did the Dolphins have some consistency? Yes. and that's in the midst of allegations that the owner had incentivized you to tank games.
Right.
So if that was
the record doesn't support it. There's no doubt his record doesn't support it. They were 1-7. They won their last 8 games or something like that, or 8 out of their last 9 games. The record did not support them pulling the trigger there on him. But then again, we don't know what that inner workings was.
Right.
So
when you see that, and then you see a guy, a Nagy or whoever, and some of these guys that last forever, or the guy in the Jets before. Sadly, this last guy, it's kind of like 3 or 4 years to be bad before they get fired.
Yeah, Adam Gase. I couldn't understand how Adam Gase got the job. I mean, because he was bad in Miami, and then he gets another shot with the Jets. But we'll see where it goes. But again, I would hope that everybody just wants to win. As a Browns fan. I don't care if it was Hugh Jackson or who. Believe me, I wish Hugh Jackson was 31-1 instead of 1-31. You know what I mean? Because I just want my team to win. I don't care.
Well, even Hugh came out and said that he was incentivized to.
Yeah, that story's a little spongy though. It's going to be interesting to see how that one comes out. All right, Al Smith has been our guest. Al, it's so great to catch up with you, man, and let's get together. I miss our breakfast. We used to have breakfast every week at IHOP. I miss having breakfast with you. We'll have to get connected again.
Same here. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, thank you, Al Smith. Well, there you go. There's another perspective. All right, let's get a break. That was a long segment. We'll come back with a short segment. We'll get phone lines open as well. If you want to jump in, you can do that as well. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
College basketball, Alabama 14-9 overall, 4-6 in the SEC on the road against Ole Miss. The Crimson Tide a 5-point favorite in Oxford. The over-under set at 143.5 on Tuesday night. Number 1 Auburn lost to Arkansas in overtime 80-76, the first conference loss of the year for the Tigers. Super Bowl 56, the Cincinnati Bengals facing the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium in LA Sunday evening. The Bengals a 4-point underdog. They have been underdogs for every game in the postseason that they have not played at home. The over-under set at 48.5. Tomorrow, the Waste Management Phoenix Open underway. John Rahm, the plus 750 favorite. Justin Thomas at plus 1,200. Patrick Cantlay at plus 1,400. Victor Hovland and Hideki Matsuyama each at plus 1,600.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey man, this is John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. Hey, whether your own marriage is like 1st and goal on the 1-yard line or you're sitting at 2nd and 26, there's things that can be learned which will help us grow in our marriages and grow closer to God and to each other and to finish the game well. So if you are married, single, or single again, our new marriage series, I Do, Building Our Marriage, is for you. Join us this Sunday at Cross Point Church at 9 o'clock or 10:30, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, or check us out at cpcfamily.org.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Memorial Parkway. Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental is independently owned and operated by local folks right here in the Valley? They are celebrating 10 years in the business this year and have grown to be North Alabama's largest supplier of rental skid steers and mini excavators. Now, if you have a question about what tool to use, just call them at 964-6081, and the pros at Valley Equipment will get you into the tool that you need for your specific project. Valley Equipment, more care in every rental.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that, you just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys, it's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell. Because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you. Only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures doing a great job at warming up. Seasonal for this time of year. Highs hanging out in the mid and upper 50s. Only dropping into the mid and upper 30s as we head into the overnight. A mostly or partly sunny sky through your Thursday afternoon. Upper 50s and lower 60s is what we can expect across the Tennessee Valley. Upper 30s and lower 40s for lows Thursday night, early Friday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Bring that playoff intensity every day to our shows.
Bring it on, Chomp. Let's go.
Okay, maybe just for Drew DeArmond.
Ding, me.
Listen for Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm ready for it.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. At Woody Anderson Ford, their service department is second to none. They can take care of your rig no matter what you're driving. They got it covered at Woody Anderson Ford. The collision department is fantastic as well. You go down there, you got to see those service lanes. They are just absolutely fantastic. Don't forget the gold certified pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford as well. We have two in the driveway, a 2019 Ford F-150, a 2019 Ford Mustang ragtop that the Junkyard Babe is in at this moment. I don't know if she's got the top down or not. She's delivering for Meals on Wheels. She does this Meals on Wheels thing every Wednesday, Grizz. And do you know who got her in to Meals on Wheels like 5 years ago anyway?
No, but it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. Gator Ron.
Oh, wow.
You remember Gator Ron?
Yeah, I do.
Passed away a couple of years ago. Gator Ron got her involved in Meals on Wheels, and she now has his old route and takes care of his route. So, you know, that is I don't know. But I don't know. What is the temperature? It's 56 degrees. Knowing her, she's got the heat blaring, and she's got the roof down. That's how she rolls.
I walked out of the office and someone had a convertible. I mean, like literally had the top down.
I'm like,
she may have the top.
I'm wearing 2 jackets to come in today.
Yeah.
I wore 2.
But yeah,
it was that cold.
It was a lot colder then, And
yeah, but I mean,
now.
even with the sun out, I mean, more power too. If you got a convertible, I mean, rock it out. But it was cool. It's February. You got a convertible. You got the top down.
I'm telling you, I bet she has the top down on her convertible. I bet she does. She has the heat on, 100. She'll have the heat on blaring.
Doesn't make
windows
sense.
up. She'll have the windows up and the heat on, and she'll have the roof down on the convertible.
It's like having the windows down with the air conditioning blowing, at the highest level.
Yeah, well, she does that too. She'll have the.
It's like it's hot. Just roll up the windows.
Yeah. It's just absolutely crazy. All right. By the way, Chad Kelly. You remember Chad Kelly, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Ole Miss quarterback.
Yeah.
He tweeted, "I can't frickin' wait to get back on a football field doing what I love to do. It's going to be so sweet. Just wait." You think he's going to be in the USFL draft? What do you think? I don't know what he's talking about. I wonder if he's going to be. I don't know. He could. By the way, speaking of quarterbacks, I mean it's Joe Burrow. I still don't know where I am on the tournament or on the Super Bowl in terms of where I'm going to, who I'm going to pull for. I think ultimately I'm going to pull for whichever team I'm going to bet on. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I got to make a decision. Of course, tomorrow we will have the Beat the Big Dog, a final Beat the Big Dog of the year with the props in there as well. We'll have some fun with props. And then on Friday, we'll have the Friday trifecta with the game. Right now, the Rams continue to be a 4.5-point favorite. I need to see what my handicappers are thinking. My problem is I really do like Joe Burrow. I really do. And this is a conundrum for me because I hate the Cincinnati Bengals, but I like this kid, Joe Burrow. And he's like...
Yeah, what's not to like about Joe Burrow, for real?
I think he's so damn cool, and he's good, and he's like, okay, we went from Broadway.
I think we
Joe.
buy into his coolness. I mean, but
he's
he is good. He is good.
It was Broadway Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Then it was Joe Cool Montana. I think this is the next. I don't know what they got to call. They got to come up with some kind of nickname for him.
But the thing is you can't feel for Matt Stafford and possibly winning one.
I want to feel for Matt Stafford.
I mean, the guy is a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think if he wins.
If he wins, he could be. If he wins, he is, but he's not now. But then I've got to pull for. Then he might throw the ball to OBJ. You see, and then I've got to worry about OBJ, which would be a problem.
Well, the boys last night talked to Miller Forstall, and he was rooting for OBJ because he's over there still. He's with your Brownies, trying to still.
He is with the Browns.
Yeah,
and he's pulling for OBJ, huh?
That's what I heard. That's what I was listening. I listened to it a little bit last night.
Well, I could go with what Miller says, maybe. But I like Joe Cool. Now, here the only problem with Burrow is he calls himself Joey Burrow. His Twitter handle is @JoeyB. Now, Joey B is cool.
Yeah.
Joey B is cool. Joey Burrow sounds like a 6-year-old. Joey B is cool. Joey Burrow, you can't if you're going to be Joey, you can't have 2 syllables in your last name. Like if you were Joey Kent.
Like a baby kangaroo.
If you were Joey, yeah, right. But I don't know.
No, I like Cincinnati, but I've said, I mean, if that offensive line can hold up against that Rams defense, I mean,
good luck with that.
I mean, that's the thing that's the thing that you're hoping that Cincinnati can do is if can they generate. I mean, they've got all the weapons on offense. I think I honestly think that in terms of running back and wide receiver talent, I think they're obviously younger, but I think they're more talented than what they have over in the Rams. Even though, Kupp's made an amazing season out of what he's done. But I just think their running back's better. I think when you look at the younger talent at wide receiver, you got 2 up and coming stars. I think they're honestly even on the wide receiver level. I think running back. I think Joe Mixon's a better running back. I think the Rams I would think the Rams offensive line is a lot better than Cincinnati's.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think that It's going to be the whole matchup is going to be the offensive line against the defensive line of the Rams, and whether or not they can keep Joe Burrow upright. I think that's a big part of it. And can Jalen Ramsey handle Jamar Chase one-on-one? Because I think they'll match them up. I don't think Ramsey's going to be taken aside. Ramsey should be all over Jamar Chase, but I don't know that Jalen Ramsey can handle it. I mean, I'll tell you what, he got burned by what? Debo Samuel took him to school a little bit.
Yeah, and then when the Bucs were coming back, he got burned by Mike Evans, and that was like the most pitiful play I've ever seen in my life. It's like you're up, and you just give up on a play, and you let a guy that's so talented that
Isn't that weird looking?
Yeah.
It looked like he just quit. he didn't know where the ball was.
Yeah, and then but it was a perfectly thrown ball by Tom Brady, which was it's like that ball that Mac Jones did on a run during the Pro Bowl, and I get it's the Pro Bowl, where it's just like these quarterbacks can just dish it in and throw it into a space where. I mean, Hunter Renfrow was just standing in the back of the end zone in between two players. I mean, the way that these guys can throw the ball and get it into, just drop it in is remarkable.
Yeah. All right. I'm not sure which props I'm going to put in tomorrow, but Grizz, let me give you. By the way, I missed Grumpy earlier in the show. It's my bad. I didn't have my call screener open. That's on me, Grumpy. That was not on Grizz. That's on me. All right, Grizz, let me give you a few. These are legit bets.
Yeah.
Minus 140 on the yes. No is plus $100. Will a player do the icky shuffle in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the first touchdown. The first touchdown. First touchdown.
Any touchdown or the first Cincinnati touchdown?
I think any first touchdown, it's going to happen.
You think that because if OBJ scores, he's going to do that other thing. What's that thing they do, like that Mac Jones was doing? What do they call that dance?
That was.
What did he do? He
did
the
that gritty.
Dance.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, the gritty will be the first thing. That'll be the first thing out of anybody.
No. If a Cincinnati Bengals scores, I think they're going to do the icky shuffle.
Oh, yes, without a doubt.
Icky shuffle,
first
not the gritty.
One.
The icky shuffle.
Yes, the first one without a doubt. Yes.
Will Joe Burrow? Yes is plus 700. No is minus 2,000. Will Joe Burrow be compared to Macaulay Culkin in the broadcast?
Wait, you said at any time?
At any
yes
time
or no?
during the broadcast, will Joe Burrow be compared to Macaulay Culkin in the broadcast? If it's yes, you get $700 if you bet $100 on it.
You know what? No, because I feel like if it was closer to Christmas, then yes. Like if it was a Christmas game, I would say yes. I would bet on it, yes. But not, I don't think Super Bowl. No.
It does look like Macaulay Culkin.
I know, but I don't think they're going to do that during the Super Bowl because they're going to do all like the cool stuff. Like they're going to, they're going to talk about his chain and all that other, like what he wears. Like they're not going to make fun of him.
What will be said first during the game? Sean McVay or Zach Taylor? Once kickoff starts. Now,
whose name?
What name will be said first? Will they first say Sean McVay or will they first say Zach Taylor?
I feel like they're going to do Zach Taylor. They'll probably talk about him first and then what all they've done, and then they'll flip over and then talk about the Rams because it's at home, and they'll talk about the home team last probably, or the at home team.
The home team is Cincinnati.
Well, I'm just saying they'll talk about the at home team. I'm doing air quotes.
So you're saying that they'll say Sean McVay will get the first holler.
No. I think Zach. I think they'll talk about Zach, and then they'll I think it'll be Zach.
Finish with Sean McVay.
Yeah, and then they'll finish with the Rams. Yeah.
Whose name gets mentioned first, Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford?
Joe Burrow.
See, part of that is more depending on. But part of that is not if the Rams win the toss. We're talking about during the game. So if the Rams
during
win
the game.
After kickoff.
Okay.
After kickoff, whose name will be first during the game? Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford? That really depends, I think, on who wins the toss.
So that says specifically after the toss, right? It does not during the game.
During the game. And once the game starts, whose name gets mentioned first? Once the game starts, Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford?
You know what? If they do win the toss, though, I think the Rams would take defense and defer.
I think both teams would defer.
You
so
think?
It depends on who wins the toss. I think it depends on who's getting the ball to start the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say Matt Stafford then. Yeah, Matt Stafford.
Whose name will be mentioned first during the game? Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? Tom Brady is a 1-3 favorite.
Tom Brady, because of retirement And then it'll go Aaron Rodgers, and they'll maybe talk about the house in Nashville. And
whose name will be said first? Patrick Mahomes or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
Whose name will be said first? Joe Montana, Joe Namath, or Joe Theismann? And Montana and Namath, by the way, are even money.
I think Namath. Because they'll compare it. Because I think they'll do the
Joe,
whole yeah.
You think they'll go Broadway Joe as opposed to Joe Cool?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Some interesting ones here. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back, tell you what to watch on TV tonight, and wrap this one up right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food, from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-three meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. And you can enjoy $50 worth of delicious Bubby's Diner food for half price with this week's Zone Deal. On sale now online at 977ESPN.com.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
I love overpriced stuff. Avocados, designer t-shirts, artisanal water. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. Paying more for the same stuff. What could be better?
Wow is better. For just $19.99 a month, we give you the super fast, extra reliable internet you need. Act now before this deal is gone. Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at Huawei.com. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Get your Ford your way today. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got F-150s in stock right now. We have F-150s on the ground so you can climb behind the wheel and take a test drive today. Plus at Woody Anderson Ford, our 2021 F-150s come with $1,000 in bonus cash, along with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months with your good credit. This offer ends February 28th. To be clear, these F-150s are in stock today, ready for your garage tonight. Now let's talk about making a custom factory order. Not only is there no extra cost to custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on 2022 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, and Mustang. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and you'll see how easy it is. And speaking of easy, our service department is now offering free pickup and delivery when it's time for your next Ford service. Ask about it at Woody Anderson Ford, the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Look forward to seeing you.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
The game's on. Oh, I almost forgot. I'll be right there.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows. Football, tennis, hockey, golf. The game is starting. Everyone is here. I got my snacks, my friends, and a beer.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
Are you ready for football? A Monday night party!
So I'm going to watch it on TV. So I'm going to watch it on TV.
What to watch on TV tonight, brought to you by Audio Insight. You can learn more at audio-insight.com. That's audio-insight.com. And they have a showroom over at 1229 Putman Drive, which is right off at Jordan Lane. They do everything. I mean, they do it all. They've got the products, and they'll also do the installation. How'd you like to have a really cool surround sound system in your wherever it is that you watch your TV? You know, they've got that. They can hang the TVs for you. They can build an entire home theater for you. They can wire. You got a new build going on, your contractor, or you're having a contractor build your home, and you need sound throughout the entire house. You want to pump music throughout the whole house. Audio Insight. Dave Bond and his team are the best at this in the Tennessee Valley. I mean, they've been doing it for over 20 years. Go to audio-insight.com to learn more. You got a doubleheader night on ESPN. If you like NBA basketball, you get the Chicago Bulls at the Charlotte Hornets, and then Golden State at Utah is the second game there. If you like your college hoops, you got your choice. You got Alabama and Ole Miss. Of course, Alabama at a 5.5-point favorite in that game. Do not stub your toe there, Alabama. You're getting too close to the end here. No jerking around like when you went to Georgia. Beat these people and beat them down early. That game is at 7:30, and that is on the SEC Network. At 8 o'clock, Tennessee is at Mississippi State, so you can check that out as well. And then, of course, there's the Olympics. Is anybody watching the Olympics? The ratings are down 57%. We just won our first gold medal, being the United States. We just won our first gold medal. We suck at this stuff for the most part. Some of it's Winter Olympics, man. We all become experts in stuff we have no idea what it is.
I love curling. Ball. That's it.
Yeah, it's bocce ball on ice. You know,
curling. That's
shuffleboard on ice. I don't know what the hell is going on. I think it's bocce ball on ice. I still haven't figured out the rules. Curling.
I'll be at Grissom Sparkman tonight over at Huntsville. Huntsville plays Albertville at 6, and then Grissom plays Sparkman at, right after at 7:30.
Well, go up to Chad and bother him at the game. Chuck Oliver is next, right here on 97.7 ESPN.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of